So this is a software selection for e-invoice. This is our today's topic of presentation. I'm Satish Mehta. I'm specialized in e-invoice and ERP. I have got 42 years of experience, and that includes mainly IT and ERP experience plus GST, costing MIS, accounting, etc. And I'm a cost and management accountant plus Sun certified Java programmer and IBM certified XML programmer. This webinar is divided into three parts. Part one is basic detail about e-invoice. Part two is generating e-invoice, some more details. And part three is the main part, which is selection of software. And part one and two earlier we had already shown in other webinar. So we will be going little bit fast. But in case you don't understand or you have got any question, you can stop me at any point of time and ask for more detail. So we are starting with part A, which is basically already covered earlier, basic detail. So we will be going fast. E-invoice is already implemented for business with more than 5 crore turnover from 1st October 2020. Uh, it has been extended to business with more than 100 crore turnover from 1st January 2021, and notification has already been issued for this. And it will be further extended to all the organizations with effect from 1st April 2021. Uh, Probably this will be little difficult to do because many of the small organizations do not have PC and do not have proper manpower to do invoice. So it may get little bit delayed or maybe divided into two phases, but government will be implementing it sooner or later. It's only question of time. Aggregate turnover. Uh, for calculating whether we are, for verifying, deciding whether we are crossing the limit or not, we have to add B2B turnover, B2C export, exempt supply, as well as inter-GSTIN transfer. All this turnover is to be added for all the GSTIN which are registered with one PAN number, and such turnover for 2017-18, 18-19 and 19-20 is to be worked out. And even if it exceeds the limit in 1 year, then that e-invoice will be applicable. Exemptions: SEZ, Insurance and Banking Company, GTA, passenger transport and multiplex are exempt. But if we are selling to SEZ, then we have to prepare invoice. The transaction which are covered: taxable B2B supply, whether it is of goods or services. Even if it is B2G sales, if government has got GSTIN number, then we are supposed to raise e-invoice. Export, sorry, I'll make one correction here. Inter GSTIN transfer, whether it is interstate or within state also, if somebody has taken two GSTIN and if he makes transfer from one to another, then it is required. In case of RCM, the supplier has to make e-invoice if he crosses the limit. But it does not apply to self-invoice of RCM. It is not applicable to B2C sales, sales of exam product, material sent or returned back from job work, and within GSTIN whatever transfer if we make, then to that it is not applicable. The document, These three documents are covered: invoice, debit note, credit note. It is not applicable wherever we have to make delivery challan. It's also not applicable to RCM self invoice. So a part one is over. Any question from anybody?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I have one question.
Uh,
So in a delivery for rejected material, if you want to return that rejected material,
mhm.
so we are preparing some delivery challenge.
Yes.
This delivery challenge needs to be uploaded for a IR code, QR code, or e-invoice.
See, if you are doing it via delivery challan, then that delivery challan is not required to be converted into e-invoice, or you don't have to, on any delivery challan, you don't have to get IR code.
So what
Or
will be the mechanism for reversing that credit, whatever we have taken against that purchase?
uh, if first of all, if you best thing, you should not take the credit. You don't take the credit at all. If you've already taken and then you
Yeah,
have to
already taken.
uh,
Case wherever the already taken the credit.
yeah, already taken, then the best method will be you have to ask your supplier to send you debit note,
Credit note.
credit note, sorry.
Yeah.
And based on that, you can
So
reverse it.
parallelly, can we issue debit note for debiting that amount proportionately?
Debit note,
We
in
can. It is not for the purpose of movement, but at least we can clear our account based on that debit note as per the delivery challenge. We can settle our accounts.
you can commercially, you can create a debit note and send it,
Hmm.
but that debit note will not have any validity in GST.
Hmm.
Because in GST, debit note or credit note can be raised by supplier only. So
Okay.
if you are raising debit note, that has got no validity in GST, but at least for your record purpose, it will serve the purpose that yes, we have reversed the ITC credit
Hmm.
on such and such date, and this is the debit note. And with the debit note, it will remind your supplier that he has to send you credit note.
Okay. Fine.
Along with debit note, you should write to your supplier that
Hmm.
he should send credit note because his credit note is the valid document for GST.
Okay, in case if you have issued that material on under delivery challenge and parallelly we have created some debit note in order to settle the account, that means reverse the ITC credit already taken.
Yes.
And in case the supplier they do not send the credit note or do not release the credit note, that it is not going to be uploaded or it was not uploaded, then what will be the implication on that?
At least you have done your part of
Yeah,
duty.
that's okay. That will.
You have done your part of duty. So for you, there should be no wrong implication because you have already reversed the credit.
The two-way credit will be showing high, uh,
It will be
higher than
actually showing high
okay.
in 2A, but that you can explain. I mean, you are taking less credit, you are not
Yeah,
taking
that's
more,
fine.
more credit. So
Okay.
you can always explain that this is not my mistake. The supplier has not
Mm.
raised the credit note or not cancelled the
Okay.
invoice.
Such in such a case, credit note is required to be get the e-invoice for that
Yes,
IRP portal. IRP
yes.
portal it
And
needs to.
credit note and debit note, they are supposed to be uh, created as per e-invoice requirement. That
Mm.
means IRN number and QR code needs to be obtained on the credit note also.
Okay. Okay. For the purpose of movement under delivery challenge, it is not required for e-invoice. The
Yes,
ERP portal is not to be
wherever
uploaded
you
to
can
ERP.
prepare delivery challan, for that delivery challan, e-invoice is not required.
Okay. Thank you.
Wherever you were earlier preparing tax invoice, in place
Yeah.
of tax invoice, once e-invoice is applicable, you have to prepare e-invoice.
Okay. No, that is not happening.
Okay, any other question?
No, sir. Thank you.
Any other person?
No. Okay.
Okay, we'll go back to next part B. Now, how to prepare e-invoice, will go into little more detail and try to understand the mechanism of e-invoice before we can understand the software preparation. So, in the process of e-invoice, the very first step which you are doing, which I have not mentioned here because it is natural, you are first preparing any. invoice. You may be having your ERP software or accounting or invoicing software from where you will prepare invoice. Once that invoice is prepared, or while preparing that invoice, you need to ensure that it meets the requirement of schema. Government has given schema in notification number 60/2020. There they have specified which are required field in e-invoice and what is the condition. All those conditions you should meet. We'll show this schema in more detail. Uh, Sorry, today since we have to cover the software portion, so we may not go into more depth of schema. We had already shown this in earlier sessions, and if anybody has got any question, they can talk to me. Then once your software is as per the schema, you have to convert your email into JSON file, for which government has provided for utility or bulk upload tool. You can use those bulk upload tool, and there is an option to convert them to JSON file. So for each invoice, JSON file will be prepared. Then that JSON file has to be uploaded to the government portal, and government portal will give back digitally signed e-invoice. It will be digitally signed by the NIC. Along with that digitally signed invoice, you will get IRN, that is invoice reference number, and QR code. This is now your complete digital, or sorry, e-invoice. This invoice is a soft copy. You will get the soft copy of the invoice. You can send it via email to your customer, and you can also uh, convert it to PDF or printed invoice. Now we'll go into little further detail. What is IRN code? We talked about it. Invoice reference number. It is, as explained earlier, it is given by government, and it is specimen is like this. It's very big, 64 character. It's difficult to enter manually, and it's not designed for manual entry. And it is for computer to computer communication. And this IRN code is included in QR code. So you can scan the QR code, and your system will get the IRN number. You don't have to enter it. Or if you have got soft copy of your e-invoice, you just upload the e-invoice into your system, and QR code, that system will get invoice reference number also, because in e-invoice the IRN is already built into it, and QR code is also built into it. The IRN, or invoice reference number, has got this four information. It's prepared based on this four information. Suppliers, or that is your GSTN number, year of invoice, document type, whether it is invoice, debit note, credit note, and document number assigned by supplier, that means you. This, based on this four number, IRN number is prepared. QR code, it is based on following information. It contains all this information: GSTN of supplier, GSTN of recipient, invoice number as assigned by supplier, date of generation of invoice, invoice value, taxable as well as gross, number of line item, HSN code of main item, and unique invoice reference number. This is sample of QR code. This you can scan, and your computer will get the information which was specified in previous screen. Now, once you have received this digitally signed invoice, you can convert it into PDF file or print it. That software you need to have with you. You can add your business logo to it. You can you must include QR code in that PDF or printed invoice, and inclusion of IRN number is optional. You may or may not include, because IRN number is already included in QR code. And such PDF file or printed copy or invoice itself soft copy, it is your responsibility to send to your customer. Government is at present not sending it. Later on, probably government may also start sending it to your customer. Impact on e-invoice recipient. Now, all the recipient, this whatever we are talking is applicable to all the recipient, even those whose turnover is not more than 100 crore. First, they have to check whatever invoice they are receiving from their supplier, whether that supplier their e-invoice is applicable to that supplier or not. And second thing, if e-invoice is applicable, then has he given valid e-invoice or not? For this two checking, government has given utility, so you can do it easily. Any question in this part? Before we move to next part, anybody has any question? I think there is no question, so we'll move to next part. Now, this is the main part about software selection. So, and this part in most other presentation you might not have seen this part because this is specific to software selection, which most of the presentations do not cover. So the first point is e-invoice will have to be uploaded to government portal before dispatch of goods, and it is required even to make e-way bill. As on before e-invoice applicability, people used to file the invoice at the end of month, and many of them used to send the invoices to their GST consultant who used to file. So if there is any mistake in invoice, it can be corrected by GST consultant or corrected by themselves till the end of the month, and any delay in that would not affect the business. Whereas now e-invoice is to be prepared and registered with government portal before dispatch of goods and before sending invoice to the party, to your customer. And secondly, that invoice cannot be modified at all after registering with government. And thirdly, it cannot be deleted after 24 hours. Only thing, some modifications can be made on GST portal, not on e-invoice portal. So combined with all these things, it is very important to have your own e-invoice preparation facility. If you do not have that, probably there may be delay in dispatch of goods. And if you are using ERP or invoicing or accounting software, then it is desirable to integrate the e-invoice preparation software with that using API, which government has provided, so that there is a seamless transaction. That means on the in your software, if you just select create e-invoice, and the software details should be converted into JSON, should go to government portal, get it registered, and the reply should come back, and that should be stored in your software. All that should be automatic. Otherwise, you may end up spending a lot of time. So, to do this, your ERP or invoicing software may require replacement in some case if there is a no good uh, connector is available for your ERP software. If connector is available, then the thing will work seamlessly. If it is not available, a lot of time you will your invoices will get rejected, and you will waste time in modifying the invoices after they are prepared. Some organization may have even to change their ERP, invoicing or accounting software, and you should take this opportunity to implement good software, if particularly if you're either you don't have good software or the software which you are using is very old, because during last few years there is a lot of improvement in software technology. uh, Now cloud-based software are also available, which are much more convenient to use, particularly for those which have got multi-locational presence and small organizations. So you should review whether you should continue to use existing software or whether you would like to buy another ERP package. And all this work, that is selecting, purchasing, installing and configuring software and then testing and implementing, will take time. So you should start well in advance. Also, if you go to the e-invoice software vendor at last moment, they will charge you very high price and you may not have time to negotiate. But if you are going well in advance, you may be able to get 2 3 quotation. You may be able to compare their feature and select the package which has got features which are useful to you, because each industry may require different feature, and you may be also able to negotiate the price and get right price. There is the e-invoice software vendor are giving very high price initially, and then if a person asks for the lower price, they are giving a lot of reduction in price also. So you need to take care to negotiate properly. Now, types of e-invoice software. One is simple API integration. API stands for Application Programming Interface. This is basically pipeline between your ERP and the e-invoice software, and similarly from e-invoice software to the government portal. The API does the work of connecting the three software and transferring data from one software to another software. So if it is implemented properly, work will be done seamlessly. Just if you press the button and everything will be done, you will not have to do each and every step yourself. The second part is, and sorry, API can be is most convenient when you have already got ERP or invoice preparation software and you don't want to change it. Then second part type of software is invoice preparation plus e-invoice conversion and uploading facility plus GST filing. This is basically if you do not have a good invoice preparation software at present, or if it is very old and you want to replace it, you may buy this type of software where you will be able to do data entry in invoice preparation software and it will automatically update and convert it into e-invoice. Plus it will have GST return filing facility also. This software will work very seamlessly because the invoice preparation software is specifically designed for e-invoice. So this will work most error free. Then there is a accounting plus ERP software available in market, where in addition to this three part, additional accounting will be there. And fourth is ERP plus e-invoicing, where there is a entire all the ERP module: purchase, sales, storekeeping, production, and plus this invoice preparation and e-invoice and GST. So this is most comprehensive module, but not many ERP are ready with invoicing solution. And those who are ready, customers are mostly not buying because that turns out to be very costly. So this is not very popular as of now. From location of software, there are two types: hosted and cloud-based. This hosted means software will be on your server and you will need to take buy server first of all if you don't have, and you need to take care of server, you need to have proper trained IT staff, etc. Whereas cloud-based software is stored on the server located to internet, so you can access that software from any location where you have got internet connectivity. So this is particularly useful and convenient to small organization where they do not want to buy servers and do not have skilled IT staff to look after server and do maintenance and troubleshooting of software and all those things. Secondly, in cloud-based, if you have multiple locations on all the locations, you can use it. Just you need internet connectivity and a PC. And thirdly, all maintenance and troubleshooting work will be done by service provider. So for small organization, it's very convenient. Uh, Before you take decision about buying e-invoice software or e-invoice connector, you should check up how is your current software. Is it well integrated? Is it working fine? Does it have all the modules that you want? If there is a scope for improvement, it is better to use this opportunity to get another ERP software and implement it. And you should buy such ERP software where e-invoice is inbuilt. Then everything will work seamlessly. So this part is over. Any question from anybody?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
How can know our vendors e-invoice eligibility or not through e-invoice portal?
Are you member of e-invoice hub?
Yes, sir. I am.
In that e-invoice, I have shared presentation today itself. In that presentation, last 4 slides you should see. On the government portal, there is an option to
Yeah.
check if you give to check applicability of e-invoice to a GSTIN number. So go to that option. It's under search option. Go to search e-invoice portal, then search, then how to check e-invoice applicability to GSTIN. Then enter GSTIN and click OK. It will show whether e-invoice is applicable or not. And the screenshot of those things, those are given in the presentation which I have just shared.
Okay, sir.
Today itself I have shared it.
And hello.
Yes, sir.
Second one question. Our vendors is uploading invoice. Generally, material comes in our stores. Anything goods with in stores. The stores people how to know the invoice generator or not. Some goods supplier, yeah, vendors, the IN number mention on and QR code mention on the invoice. But at the provision of the invoice after 48 hours, they also upload the invoice portal after the moment of the supply of the goods. How can I know the suppliers has uploaded e-invoice on the portal?
First of all, supplier are not supposed to send you goods without preparing e-invoice. So,
Yes.
when you receive material, you have to check whatever invoice has come. The very first, very easy check is whether QR code is there or not. If there is no
Yes.
QR code, means it is not valid e-invoice. This is very simple check. Second check, government has given a application which you can download again from the e-invoice portal. It is a mobile phone based application. You if they have sent an invoice with QR code, you can scan the QR code and then it will show the detail which I have shown, which are part of QR code. All those details will be shown on the mobile phone, so you will be sure whether that invoice is valid or not. Even GST officers, when they check it on the way, they are going to use this application.
But sir, as per e-invoice provision, not necessary to any movement of goods, supply
No,
of goods with QR code and IN number. After the in between 48 hours, bulk uploaded the invoice through invoice portal.
No, it is not correct.
Yeah.
They are supposed to prepare invoice first, and invoice or e-way bill. E-way bill can be prepared only after preparing invoice, and after preparing e-way bill, they are supposed to dispatch the goods. Or if goods they are dispatching where e-way bill is not applicable, then invoice has to go to the party along with the goods. If invoice is not prepared and goods are sent, that is illegal. If that is caught on the way, that can be detained.
It means the
But
before
sir,
the dis-
but sir, we can send it by delivery challan also, na?
No, if that is which
If
type
we
of
if we
transaction?
send by delivery challan, then e-way bill will be required, and e-way bill is sufficient.
No, if that is delivery challan means which is the transaction. If you are sending goods as
Sir, if we are sending goods on consignment basis, like goods on approval basis,
you are
then
sending on approval basis, then it's okay. Then invoice is not required when you are sending on approval basis. But when you accept the goods, at that time supplier is supposed to send you invoice. But when there is a normal sale, no consignment basis, you don't have order for consignment, you have got ordinary order and they are sending material against that ordinary order, then they are supposed to prepare a invoice.
So just to add one point here, there are certain situations where part supply, the goods are supplied in installments.
Mhm.
So in that case, I think there is a provision where if you have mentioned in the contract that the after the supply of the total goods, then also you can raise the invoice. So in this scenario, and second also in bill to ship to case where the vendor has supplied on my behalf, then also I also supposed to raise the invoice to him. So in that case also I will generate e-invoice at a later stage.
No, you are not supposed to generate e-invoice at a later stage. Any movement of material with that, before that you have to generate e-invoice, and along with e-invoice, wherever applicable, you have to generate e-way bill also, and e-way bill cannot be generated if you have not generated invoice. So,
Even
uh,
bill to ship to, I am not supposed to generate any e-way bill. My vendor will generate e-way bill and he will transfer the goods on behalf of me. Now, as a customer, I also have to raise an invoice to my customer, na. So in
that,
that case, I don't need e-way bill. So I can raise at a later stage within 30 days of the supply of goods.
no, your raising invoice subsequently is not valid. You have to raise the invoice. Based on that invoice, e-way bill should be prepared. In my opinion, you cannot raise the, as on today, government is accepting the e-invoice subsequent future in future date also.
Correct.
But that does not make them as a valid transaction. If you have not raised the e-invoice, then government is accepting, okay, it is government is permitting or forgiving your mistake to you. That does not make you have right to make the mistake.
But there are certain situations here when as a customer I've ordered my vendor to supply the goods to my customer, and the transactions are such that at the moment of supply I am not aware whether my vendor has transferred the goods or not. And there are certain organizations where n number of transactions is not possible to track each and every transactions. In that situation, monthly statements are coming from the vendor, and on that basis the taxpayer is raising invoice to their customer.
Who, Arifa speaking?
Yeah.
Arifhaji, can I suggest you put this question in the our you send it to me.
I'll send it to you.
I'll put that question to GST pen our panel.
I'll mention the provision also. Somehow I remember there is a provision where there's a contract for entering, where there is a contract for the supply of goods. In that case, whenever whatever conditions you have mentioned in the contract, timelines for raising an invoice, that will be the time of supply. I'll just check that provision and
No,
I'll
there
definitely
there is a
message.
provision in GST law only where there is a continuous supply via pipeline.
So continuous supply of goods.
Via pipeline. I mean, it's not that physically transported material. It's applicable to pipelines. If somebody is supplying material via pipeline to another organization and it is going on continuous basis, then that provision is applicable to the best of my knowledge. But you put up this question, we will, if you put it today itself, we'll put in tomorrow's session, and tomorrow let GST panel expert give reply on this point.
Okay, sir.
Any other question?
The one thing or I want to add that the first question which the person has asked, that whether we can check the applicability of the e-invoicing on the GST portal, you correctly replied that there is an option for search experiment where we can check whether e-invoicing is applicable or not. But there are certain cases where the portal is not giving a correct information. If you have the taxpayer whose turnover is less than 100 crore, then also it is saying ki you are liable for to generate e-invoicing. So better to check the aggregate turnover for the previous years from 2017-18 to actually identify whether you are liable to generate e-invoice or not.
No, if we have to generate e-invoice or not, we have to check our aggregate turnover.
Correct. We
But
cannot rely on this option which is given as search taxpayer on the invoice portal.
yes, if that option is not giving correct answer, we should check
It's
our.
not giving. I personally checked, sir, in 2 or 3 taxpayers of my client, they are showing a wrong information. So that's just my opinion to you. You just check your preceding years turnover till 1920.
Yes, so if that is giving wrong answer figure, then we should check and we should write to our
Previous help
GST.
desk also. Yes, this is showing wrongly.
We should write to our respective GST officer and we should provide them necessary details so that it can be corrected.
And the same thing is given in FAQs also, where if the system is showing you wrong information, you please raise a query to grievance portal.
Yes, so that is, yes, we should do like that. There may be some cases where the portal may be showing wrong figure.
Right, sir.
Any other question? Okay, we'll move to our next part, and this is now we are talking here about different software which can be used for generation of e-invoice. The first such software is GST Gen. It is very popular but little costly e-invoice integrator for Tally. You can use GST Gen in multiple ways. First of all, they provide their own invoicing software along with GST return filing and invoicing together. If you buy this, probably it will work very seamlessly, but you have to check whether their invoicing meets your invoicing requirement or not. Certain organizations have got some special invoicing requirement, then it may not meet. Then secondly, they are giving Tally connector. If you are using Tally, you can use this connector, and large number of organizations have used this, so it's expected to work fine. Then they are also providing SAP and Oracle connector. Those who are using this ERP may use this GST Gen connector. If you are using any other ERP or invoicing software, either they can develop connector for you on custom basis, which may be a little more time consuming and more costly, or you can use Excel connector which they are providing, which is relatively simpler, and their packages are cloud based. So all this data they are storing in the cloud, or that means their server connected to internet. And the price specified by them is 25,000 one-time charges for single user, plus additional 5,000 rupee plus per GSTIN, plus additional 5,000 rupee per tele license and additional 8,000 rupee per year for up to 20,000 invoices. And for Excel user, same as above price, but additional charges for GSTIN and tele license are not applicable. But they have given indication that this price is, if you negotiate, they will give very significant reduction in this price. In fact, they told that we will match the lowest price available in market. So you can be careful. The next software is Computex. Now this is very reasonably priced package and suitable for small business that is 100 to 200 crore turnover. They provide 3 modules: Tele Integrator, custom integration with other invoicing and ERP package, and e-invoicing along with their own invoicing package, which is called CompuGST. So you can select from one of these 3 options. Then on their website, I could not find their information, but when I talked to them, they provided information quickly. So probably you may also find it difficult to get from website. You will have to talk to the party, and their prices are for Teleconnector 2,950 for 2,500 invoices per year. Similarly, if for 6,000 invoices, it is 5,900 per year. And if you are buying their invoice preparation software plus invoicing, it is 6,785 for unlimited invoices and unlimited GSTI. And I think their price is the most reasonable price out of all the e-invoice vendors I have tried to talk to. Then third software vendor is Microvista. They provide connector for SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamic Now, and custom integration with their software. And their website address is given here. You can get more information from there. And their price is also one-time charges 25,000 plus recurring charges of 5,000 rupee per GSTIN number. And this is their email website address, which is I have given, of course, on previous web page also. It's just repeated by mistake. Then third software, and this is very popular with large organization, that is SAP plus Oracle, etc. And they are providing good integration between this large ERP and invoice site. Again, they have got multiple way of software. They have got pass-through API, which will give seamless connection between this ERP and e-invoice portal. They have got enriched API solution, which will give some more functionality. They have also manual upload option, which is useful in case of invoices which are not generated via those ERP. Many organizations frequently, even they use ERP for invoices like scrap, etc., abnormal type of invoices. They generate them separately, and for that they will need manual Excel upload. So that will be useful here. Then they've got data validation of invoice. This will be available wherever there is proper integration is provided. Then only your at the time of data entry of invoice, data will be validated. And they are providing also three-way reconciliation between e-invoice, Annexer 1 and e-way bill. Other functionality, they are providing ITC reconciliation between expense register and government portal. There is direct vendor communication option from Annexer to mismatch error. If it is not matching, on Annexer 2 itself, you can select to send the email. They are providing e-way bill facility, and they are providing GSTR 9 and 9C filing facility. And this is their website address. Then there is another party, Webtel, which is claiming fastest implementation of invoice in 7 days. And they are providing option for integrator for SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, Tally, Busy ERP, and Finsys. So particularly this Busy ERP and Finsys, if you are using, probably this site will be very convenient to you. If there are any other ERP integration, any other ERP you are using, they can provide integration also. And Webtel is also providing API integration. They are providing FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. They are also providing Excel integration, which will not be fully automatic, whereas API integration will be fully automatic. And they are providing web application also, where you can go and create e-invoice. Their contact details are given here if you want to get more information. Their price is 25,000 for 25,000 invoices in a year, and 30,000 for, in case of Excel connector, 30,000 for 30,000 invoices in a year. But again, my suggestion to you is get prices from other vendor and do proper negotiation. You may get price reduction. Then there is one other, Masters India, which is providing ERP integration facility for e-invoices. Again, it is for SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamic Nav, Tally, and Marg ERP. Now, this Marg ERP is a good ERP, which is low price ERP, and at the same time, it provides batch-wise expiry date recording. So, those chemical and pharmaceutical industry which have to maintain batch-wise detail and expiry date, they will find Marg ERP relatively cheaper as compared to SAP and Oracle, and still they will meet the requirement. And it can be connected using Master India's e-invoice integrator. And they are providing, Master India is providing custom ERP or invoicing software integration also. And these are their customer list: Tata Sky, Daikin, Anchor, Hindware. These are well-known companies. So this seems to be a reliable software provider. And there is also, this is their website address where you can get more detail. There are few other e-invoice software provider which I studied, but I could not get full information, which I have written here. One is ClearTex, and I have given you website address so that you can study yourself. One is ClearTex, second is Aulara, third is GST Robo. This GST Robo, I got details shortly, which I have not studied in full detail. I'll study and let you know in my next session, about which I'll talk later. Then there is Iris GST. And apart from this, there'll be many more available if you search the net. This four I found relatively more reliable, but there are very large number of e-invoice software provider. There is also in-house development of e-invoice software possible. because government is already providing tool to convert your ordinary invoice in Excel format to their JSON format and then upload and get the valid invoice. So there are 4 different tools which are available from their portal. So if you have got a good person in your IT department, you can tell them to write a proper report which gives output from your invoice in the same format as required in those any one of those 4 upload tool or bulk upload tool, and copy and paste your report output into those bulk upload tool, and then upload all the invoices and get back valid invoices. Now one of the person who has done this type of things, uh, sorry, I have not mentioned his organization name here. It's Elgi organization of Coimbatore. In that organization, they have already developed such software in-house. And tomorrow on 29th November, we have invited them to share their experience. At 11 o'clock, this session will start. There will be first news session, then there will be experience sharing session from them, and then there will be question answer session. So you can join that session tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And if you want regular information about this session, we are conducting such session every week. So you can become e-invoice hub member if you are not already there. In this webinar, I have tried to give information about those software which I could study so far. I'll continue my study further and I'll find out some more better invoice software. Also about this software, I'll find out do some in-depth study and prepare more detailed report and give you that information again in next session on 14 December 2020 on Monday. So if you want to know more about software selection, you are welcome to attend this session. So with this, my session is over, and this is just legal notice. I would like to highlight that I have taken great care to provide you correct information, but each organization will have different requirement. So you should study these suppliers in more detail before taking any decision. If there is any loss or damage, we cannot take any responsibility for that. That you have to yourself take care, and before taking any decision, you need to study in more detail. So with this, my session is over. This is my phone number 98252 31592. I'll repeat 98252 31592. And this is my email address shm958@hotmail.com. So if you have any question about e-invoice, you can send me, or any software selection, including your ERP software selection or accounting and invoicing software selection. You can send me WhatsApp, or you can talk to me on phone. And I am located at Vapi. So with this, this session is over. Any question on this last part, which was the most important part? No question. Okay, then we will be ending this session.
Thank you, Satish ji.
Okay, thanks to all the participants,
Thank you.
and we are ending the session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And those who are not member in e-invoice hub, they should become members so that they can get more detail.
ठाकरे साहब, गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग साजी भाई, कैसे हो?
बस बढ़िया, आप बताइए।
बस एकदम फर्स्ट क्लास भाई।